presents a new upcoming class. Stay tuned. Sacred Bonds by Daryl Abdullah Kirk. Yes, Sacred Bonds, navigating the depths of Muslim matrimony and the family. You don't want to miss this one. Please stay tuned. Streaming on all major platforms right here on SunnahFollowers.net.
Complete this book, that's when I'll teach that. A lot of you brothers are still asking me, I see, about the sins of disbelief. I'll teach that when we're done with this series. Okay, but this is the Sacred Bonds of Marriage, and this is the book that we're using. The book is written by one of my students, Brother Abdullah Kirk. You can go to Amazon and get the book. It's only $13, and we'll be covering chapter 17 today. And we're going to speak about how to have a successful blended family, because this is hard, because the children have to be separated. You can never leave the children alone together if they are the different gender, because they're not mahrams. And we spoke about the importance of having a mahram. So let's talk about it. But oops, I'm sorry. What did I hit a button here? Okay, let's talk about it. Now, as we know, Islam puts great emphasis on the bonds of brotherhood and sisterhood. And one of the ways to make a blended family work is to let them know that even though the children know that even though they're not brothers and sisters through blood, they're still brothers and sisters in faith. So what they're going to have to do, you have to instill in them that they need to get along with each other. You need to treat each other, learn to love each other for the sake of Allah. And remind them of how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam emphasized that you'll never be a believer until you love others, the way you want them to love and treat you. And also our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the believers in their love and mercy and kindness to one another are like one body. If one part of the body hurts, the other parts of the body feel the impact. So you have to instill this in those children. Even though they're not blood related, they still are related Islamically. So they're going to have to be kind and fair with each other. And you have to instill that in them from day one. Okay? And then also, you have to teach them to respect, the importance of respecting other people's boundaries. You remind them that Allah says in the Quran, in the interpretation of the meaning, "Oh, you who believe, do not allow some people to make fun of others, because maybe they're better than you. And don't let women make fun of other women, because the one you make fun of may be better than you. And do not defame each other. Do not go around hurting each other, insulting one another." So you have to teach your children, if you have a blended family, teach them that we're all one big family. Even though we're not related by blood, we're still one big family. And we're going to have to learn to respect each other, to respect each other's property, to know the boundaries, the limits. Okay? And also that entails teaching kindness. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever does not show mercy or kindness to our young people or acknowledge the rights of our elders is not one of us. So you want to teach the children that even though they're not related by blood, they have to have this camaraderie with each other, this respect and for each other, whereas they don't go around transgressing the limits of Allah by taking the others' things, destroying others' property, and all of that. We have to be kind. Kindness is what Islam is all about. And also, if you want the blended family to work, you have to set boundaries and interaction with one another too. Remember, the girls and boys are not related. So they can never be left alone together, because if you leave them alone together, it's going to lead to hanky-panky stanky. So you're going to have to follow the boundaries set by Allah. Okay. And also, again, Islam is all about being dignified. So because the kids are not related, you're going to have to teach your daughters to dress modestly around the house. They're going to have to cover their hair because she can't show her hair to your sons, because your sons are not related to her. So you're going to teach her to dress modestly. Make sure her clothes are loose so as not to draw attention to herself. And the same with your sons. You're going to tell them the same thing. Don't walk around the house with a shirt off. Put a shirt on. Okay. We have to adhere by the dress code and the guidelines of etiquette set for us by Allah. And also, to help make a blended family work, we're going to have to foster a spirit of cooperation and understanding. Again, and put it in the kids' head that we're still one big family. So we're going to have to help each other. Be there to support each other, because Allah loves for us to help another Muslim. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning: cooperate in righteousness and piety, but do not cooperate in sin and aggression, and fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is the most severe in punishment. So you want to indoctrinate in the kids that, again, even though they're not related, they still need to help each other in what's good, and help remind each other to stay away from that which is evil. So support each other in our daily lives. Okay? Because again, if we create a harmonious family, then we'll be there to support each other in good times and in bad. And also, you're going to have to make the kids adhere to the mannerisms that our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us. For example, again, the Prophet said, no man is left alone with a woman who is not a mahram without shaitan becoming a third person. So you want to instill in the children's mind from the time that you marry, that they have to separate. They cannot be together. Have them keep the bedroom doors open when they're playing games in each other's rooms. Keep the door open so you can hear and see what's going on, and make sure that there's another kid in there with them, that they're not just one-on-one. Because remember, you want to tell the children that the Prophet said it would be better for a man to be stabbed in the head than to touch a woman who is not permissible for him. So you want to put all these hadiths in the head of the sons and the daughters. And teach your children the etiquette of lowering their gaze. If something is attractive to you, lower your gaze. Okay, don't go around looking at things you shouldn't look at. Don't peek in my bedroom. Make sure that when you're watching television, that you're not watching stuff that has sex and stuff in it. You want to make sure that the girls are always covered, that they have on jilbab. I ain't talking pants. I'm talking a jilbab, an overgarment to wear around the house, because it doesn't emphasize their shape, the shape of their legs, their body. You don't want them advertising themselves, and then they end up in a terrible predicament. And also, you want to teach your girls, to not be soft in their speech. They should speak the way I'm speaking. A lot of people accuse me of being upset and yelling. I don't yell. This is the way I'm supposed to speak. This is the way Allah commands. Okay, a woman should be intimidating and strong in her speech. Because as the Prophet said, men are weak. Young boys are weak. They can be turned on to her voice. And also, don't enter into a person's bedroom without knocking on the door, asking permission. This is a big one. Don't have your sons opening up the bedroom doors of your daughters. Have them knock before they enter. Okay, because if you don't, it's going to end up with some bad stuff. So these are just a few examples of the mannerisms and characteristics that Allah has given us as Muslims, that if we act upon them, it can make a blended family work.